cross-border conflict. Tracing the roots of the Iran-Pakistan airstrikes. Executive summary. In a dramatic escalation of regional tensions, the long-standing yet delicately balanced relations between Iran and Pakistan have been severely tested. This recent flare-up began with a bold and unexpected move by Iran, a series of air attacks deep within Pakistani territory. Tehran's justification for this aggressive maneuver was the targeting of militant groups it holds responsible for inciting domestic unrest. However, Pakistan's reaction was swift and unprecedented. In a historical countermove, Pakistan launched its own series of airstrikes directly into Iranian airspace. This action, a first since the tumultuous days of the Iran-Iraq War over 30 years ago, shattered a long-held status quo. The Pakistani incursion into Iranian airspace was not just a military response, but a strong geopolitical statement, reverberating through diplomatic channels and causing both nations to recall their ambassadors in a display of mutual indignation. The fallout from these events has been profound and multifaceted. Economically, the shockwaves are palpable, particularly for Pakistan, where the uncertainty has sent tremors through the nation's financial markets. Politically, the crisis has strained already complex relationships within the region, with both Iran and Pakistan finding themselves at a crossroads of geopolitical alliances and regional power plays. The incident raises significant concerns about the stability of an area already fraught with tension and conflict. As the dust settles on this dramatic exchange, the international community watches with bated breath. The concern is not just for the bilateral relationship between these two nations, but for the broader implications on regional and global stability. This crisis serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance that underpins peace in the region and the ease with which it can be disrupted. The path forward requires careful navigation, diplomatic finesse, and a concerted effort to de-escalate tensions, lest the region be drawn into a deeper and more perilous conflict. Background: the recent Iran-Pakistan conflict, a dramatic escalation in regional tensions, has its roots in a series of complex and intertwining historical, ideological, and geopolitical factors. The immediate spark for this explosive situation was Iran's audacious military incursion into Pakistani territory. These attacks, targeting the militant group Jaish al-Adl, were a bold statement from Tehran, signifying a new, proactive stance against groups it deems as threats to its national security. In a sharp and robust response, Pakistan launched a series of retaliatory airstrikes into Iran's Sistan-Baluchistan province. These strikes, which Pakistan claims were aimed at terrorist sanctuaries, represent a significant and unprecedented escalation in the military engagement between the two countries. For the first time in over 3 decades, the sanctity of Iran's airspace was violated by a foreign power, marking a new chapter in the already intricate tapestry of Iran-Pakistan relations. The backdrop to this recent conflict is a labyrinth of historical tensions and political maneuverings. Central to this are the ideological and political disparities that have long defined the relationship between Tehran and Islamabad. Iran, with its Shiite Islamic governance, has often viewed Pakistan's deep-seated ties with Sunni-majority Saudi Arabia, Iran's regional rival, with suspicion and unease. Conversely, Pakistan has harbored concerns about Iran's friendly overtures towards India, Pakistan's perennial adversary. These mutual suspicions have been further complicated by Pakistan's support for the Taliban, which has historically persecuted Afghanistan's Shiite minority, a group with whom Iran shares religious and cultural ties. This intricate web of alliances and animosities has set the stage for the current crisis, making it not just a simple bilateral conflict, but a reflection of the broader power dynamics at play in the region. The current situation is more than a series of military exchanges. It is a manifestation of deep-rooted ideological rifts and geopolitical chess moves. The Iran-Pakistan conflict stands at the intersection of regional rivalries, sectarian divides, and the strategic interests of major powers, making it a pivotal moment in the ongoing narrative of Middle Eastern geopolitics. Analysis: the recent Iran-Pakistan conflict unfolds against a canvas rich in regional tension and complexities. This episode is but a fragment of the broader mosaic of unrest that characterizes the current Middle Eastern geopolitical landscape, which includes Iran's forays into Syria and Iraq and the multifaceted hostilities involving an array of state and non-state actors. At the heart of the Iran-Pakistan crisis is a delicate equilibrium, a tightrope walk that both nations have been performing for years. This balance, however, has been precariously tipped by the recent exchange of airstrikes, underscoring the fragility of their bilateral relations. Despite a shared concern over border security and the activities of militant groups, the incident has exposed the underlying fissures between the two countries. Iran's measured response to Pakistan's unprecedented attack is a strategic move indicative of Tehran's broader intentions. By restraining from a more aggressive retaliation, Iran appears to be signaling a desire to prevent this conflict from spiraling into a larger confrontation. This approach reflects a calculated decision to manage the crisis within certain bounds, keeping the door open for diplomatic resolution while simultaneously demonstrating its military capabilities. On the other side, Pakistan's decision to engage militarily inside Iranian territory is significant. It reflects a strong, assertive stance against violations of its sovereignty. This action can be viewed through the lens of Pakistan's internal dynamics, particularly the pressures exerted by the upcoming national elections. The government's response is likely influenced by the need to project strength and resolve domestically, catering to nationalistic sentiments and the electorate's expectations for a robust defense of national interests. The conflict, therefore, is not just a bilateral issue, but a complex interplay of regional politics, internal dynamics, and strategic posturing. Each move by Iran and Pakistan is not merely a response to immediate threats, but also a part of a larger geopolitical strategy. This incident has peeled back the layers of their relationship, revealing the intricate and often contradictory forces at play. The Iran-Pakistan conflict is emblematic of the intricate web of regional politics in the Middle East. The situation remains fluid, and the actions taken by both countries in the coming days will be crucial in determining whether this escalation is an aberration or a harbinger of a new phase in their long-standing and multifaceted relationship. Implications and recommendations. Navigating the Iran-Pakistan crisis. The recent Iran-Pakistan conflict is not just an isolated bilateral skirmish, but a geopolitical tremor with the potential to destabilize an already fragile region. This section explores the broader implications of this conflict and offers strategic recommendations for moving towards stability and peace. Regional stability risks. The exchange of airstrikes between Iran and Pakistan, nations with formidable military strength, poses a significant risk to regional stability. This volatile situation has the potential to escalate rapidly, potentially drawing in other regional powers and exacerbating existing tensions in the Middle East. The balance of power in the region is delicate, and any further military action could trigger a broader regional conflict with unforeseeable consequences. Recommendations. Regional dialogue. Initiatives for regional dialogue should be strengthened, involving key regional stakeholders in discussions to address mutual security concerns and promote confidence-building measures. Conflict resolution mechanisms. Establish and strengthen regional conflict resolution mechanisms to address and manage disputes before they escalate. Economic consequences. The ongoing conflict has sent shockwaves through Pakistan's economy, with visible impacts on its financial markets. This adds to the country's existing economic challenges, potentially hindering its economic growth and stability. Recommendations. Economic diplomacy. Leveraging diplomatic channels to ensure that the conflict does not adversely affect economic relations and trade agreements. Investor confidence. Initiatives to restore and maintain investor confidence through transparent communication and policy stability. International mediation. Given the intricate nature of this crisis and its potential to disrupt regional peace, the role of international mediation becomes pivotal. It is essential for global powers and international organizations to intervene diplomatically to prevent the situation from escalating into a full-scale conflict. Recommendations. UN involvement. Active involvement of the United Nations in mediating the conflict, possibly through special envoys or peacekeeping missions. Multilateral forums. Utilization of multilateral forums like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, for dialogue and conflict resolution. Monitoring and engagement. Continuous monitoring by the international community, including influential nations like the US and China, is crucial. These countries, along with international organizations like the United Nations, should play a proactive role in engaging with both Iran and Pakistan to facilitate dialogue and seek a peaceful resolution. Recommendations: diplomatic channels. Encourage and support the opening and maintenance of diplomatic channels between Iran and Pakistan for direct dialogue and negotiation. International pressure. Application of international pressure, when necessary, to prevent further military actions and encourage peaceful negotiations. Border management. Effective border management and cooperation between Iran and Pakistan are essential to address the root causes of the conflict, particularly concerning cross-border militancy and security issues. Recommendations: joint border patrols, establishment of joint border patrols and intelligence sharing mechanisms to combat cross-border militancy and smuggling. Bilateral agreements, strengthening bilateral agreements on border management and security cooperation. In conclusion, the Iran-Pakistan conflict stands at a critical juncture in regional geopolitics. The urgent need for diplomatic engagement, international mediation, and cooperative security measures is clear. The path ahead requires a concerted effort from both regional and international actors to steer this precarious situation towards de-escalation and stability. The stakes are high, and the repercussions of inaction could be far-reaching, not just for Iran and Pakistan, but for the entire region.